I just filed for divorce. Whoa. I said the words that I've said like in my head for like 16 years. Wild. I don't know what feels more like a punch in the stomach, that it's like out there and it's final, or that I have to call him right now. Oh, he's at work. Hey, it's T. I know you're working. Can you call me? It's important. Everything's fine. The kids are fine. But call me, please. Bye. I'm super nervous because I don't like confrontation. That stopped me from a really long time wanting to do this and hurting him and protecting the kids. And my daughter, who's 15, is very much like, people already talk about us at school. Like, they know you. Wait, it's going to be spun what way? That I had enough of you? What? What do you mean? I mean, in all honesty, after this whole journey, if it's about that, like who files first, the other person's wrong. I feel like I deserve to file first then. Well, I mean, you basically put it all out there. Like you said, everything that you've done to me over the years. So I think it would make perfect sense that it's followed up that I would file. Yeah. Okay, I love you. Okay. Bye. Ugh. Wait, that's it. Oh my God. I've never felt more alone.
Welcome back, guys. It seems to me that nobody can just keep their mouths shut and keep their relationships private. A lot of emotions get evoked, and the result is really spectacular to watch. And as a strong Scorpio, we love to really pull you into very intense situations to see if you drown or if you can swim. Tori Spelling just created a podcast, and I haven't listened to it, but all over social media is trending, her final file for divorce from Dean McDermott, who is a fellow Scorpio. Now, interesting enough, she did this publicly on her podcast, and, I don't know, he probably knew about it. Anything for a bag, okay? She's a Taurus, and they will do anything for that bag. That bag comes first. No one will stand in front of that money. No one. She is, infamous for turning everything into a paycheck. Everything has to be a paycheck. And I know for him that's extremely uncomfortable. He is a really strong Scorpio, like a 5-planet stellium. As a heavy Scorpio, he could really magnetize, and the women fall for him very quickly. Now, him and Tori met somewhere, I believe 2004 or 5, on the set of a project, and they were both married at the time. They cheated on their spouses. They married each other. And throughout the years, Tori has forgotten. She has forgotten this fact. And she expects total loyalty from someone who wasn't loyal in the past. And also, she wasn't loyal. Her ex-husband, she mentioned in her book, what was it called? Storytelling. I read many, many years ago that he was just, some nice guy. She wasn't really attracted to him like that. So, honey, here's your karma back. It comes full circle. Dean is not attracted to her. Rumored that when they first met, he called her horse face and all this other stuff. He saw her as an opportunity. Probably he knew he could slide in quick. She was so attracted to him. She described their affair in that book. I notice with a lot of Tauruses is like that. It's so sexual when it comes to Scorpios. It's like they don't really see anything else in the beginning. And I know that definitely from experience, having so many Taurus men in my face, hoping that I would crawl onto their sheets, which I never have. I've never slept with a Taurus, by the way. However, I always notice when they talk about Scorpios, the first thing they talk about is the sex. And it's so disgusting, actually, such a turn off. It kind of repulses me that that's where their attention is. And she was very, very attracted to Dean. Now, announcing their divorce on her podcast so everybody can hear it and hear the phone call and this, that, and the third. It's just reminiscent of like all of these individuals right now who are divorcing Scorpio men. The women are all over social media. I mean, just go take a look for yourself. I'm not going to name any names, but there's individuals who are on there just talking and going to interview, talking about their relationship, talking about how now they're, loving themselves and this, that, and the other. And notice the Scorpios aren't saying a damn word. In fact, Dean already has a girlfriend. He's with some Gemini right now. And, Tori is home hurting to the core. She has a Scorpio moon, and I believe the ruler of her moon is in the 8th house. So this should be no discomfort to her to go through these deep transformations. Now, I looked at her chart really quickly, and there's a lot of really deep emotional pain from both parents. Actually, her son opposes her moon, which means she's gonna have those issues if she doesn't work them out with the opposite sex, with that back and forth. And she chose a relationship just like the parents, sometimes we do that subconsciously when those things aren't worked out. Hopefully, at 50 years old, she works that out, for the sake of her children, learning their lessons through her. And maybe she'll get another partner that she actually is not tingly between the legs about, somebody who she can just actually get what she needs from them at this point. I brought this situation up because it's just so interesting how, you figure out who people are when you're in a crisis. And that is so Scorpio. I love to see people when they are not just angry at me, but really resentful, bitter, and just off the, like, completely, they're just so unhinged, because that's when you get the truth. And you get the truth of how they have been feeling about you for a very long time. When they're kind and they're nice and this and that and the other, there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of cover up, in the midst. With Tori, she does have a Venus making an opposition to Neptune, which clouds your judgment. It really does, particularly in relationships. It's like she gave him the fairy tale, rose-colored glasses. Oh, he's the best. He's this and that. And it was not practical at all. Like, look, this is a man who's leaving his wife for me. Like, what does that really mean? It doesn't mean you're special and he's not going to do it to you. This man has cheated so many times on her. So many times. And I believe this was a while ago. And then after that, she went and had another baby. It's just like, oh my gosh. It makes me want to, I don't know what it makes me want to put my head through the wall when I think about how individuals just kind of lose sight of reality when they're within a relationship. Now, many of you guys have sent me letters over the years. A lot of you Taurus women. Oh, I'm in a relationship with this married Scorpio. What should I do? And I'm looking at the message and I'm like, what in the F are you like, sometimes I think individuals are just trolling when they come up with stuff like that. Like, you're willing to subject yourself to someone who is showing you that they are not a committed individual for whatever reason that is. And you have the audacity to come to me and want me to co-sign that relationship for you. There's a sickness in that. There's something in that that is just so, it just doesn't make any sense. And a lot of times I'll have to read these stories back to you and say, what in the hell do you think? Oh, you think he's going to love you? Are you kidding? Or you think he's going to be loyal to you? Are you kidding? And a Scorpio, we already know what you're about. Like, those girls who are like, oh, I never really do this, but I'm going to do it with you. It's like, but why are you going to do it with me if you never, and what's the really? You're putting in the, I never really do. That means you've done it, honey. Like, why would you break down all of your rules and values all of a sudden. Like, why? And the Scorpio, who's very, above all, we test more than anybody. We'll put you in a circumstance to see if you sleep with us. We'll put you in a circumstance to see what will you do. What will you do in this crisis? And just fall back and watch your behavior. What is natural to you? Is it natural to you to cheat on your spouse? Is it natural for you to give up all your values and morals and just hop in the bed and be like, oh, I never do this? Like, what is natural for you? In our mind, we're thinking like, well, what if this was somebody else and I was the spouse? This is something that you would do. Clearly, your values aren't that strong, honey. And for those of you who are going to be like, oh, you condone cheating, blah, 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 you're not even listening to me. You're not even listening to, I'm not even talking about Dean. He knows he's a cheater. He knows he has problems. He knows he has his whole thing to deal with. I'm not even talking about him at all. I'm talking about the individual who is accepting that type of relationship. You're accepting that. You know they married. Why are you accepting it? Why are you joining it? Why are you there? Forget the other person. Be accountable for yourself. There has been many married men trying to pretend they're single, many years ago, up in my face. What, you think I was going to join in to like do what? To do what? Prove that I could get some married ass dude? Like, no, no, get away from me. Get away from me. Okay? Your decisions, your choice, your responsibility. Now, I want you to listen to this next clip where she's telling everybody about her sex life. It's just like, there's nothing private. There's nothing like off the table. Everything is about a bag. Everything is about getting that money. There's no privacy. There's no real relationship anymore when it comes to people who are in the public eye. There's no value to it. Everything is like, what can I get? Listen to this.
It's definitely the most angry I've ever gotten in a therapy session. I just felt at this point that we had come so far, and I felt like I was starting to get answers, and I felt like in one moment he changed his whole story, and then for him to get up and walk out of the room, I was baffled.
Like, he was wanting more sex from me. He wanted more adventurous stuff. I was doing everything he wanted. That's why when this happened, it was such a slap in my face. Because it's like, I not only was giving him more sex, I was doing things I'm pretty sure no married couple of 7 years with 4 tiny kids are doing at home.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't feel sorry for her, and I don't feel sorry for him either. I don't know them personally, but from what I see, everything's always publicized, and they always say how you get them is how you lose them. It seems to be accurate for every single scenario like this. If you're in a relationship where you are not committed, when you get that relationship, something's going to happen, honey. Something's going to happen. It's just inevitable. It's inevitable. And as a Scorpio, I just love to sit back and watch people's demeanor change depending on that condition. Depending on their condition, it changes. In the beginning, everybody thinks they're loyal, but then they get all over social media and they're talking about everything that went on behind the scenes. And you heard her say, oh, I miss him. She's like, I've never felt so alone. Are you kidding me? Honey, you've always been alone. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? And if you are in a similar situation, do share. I'll see you in my next podcast video.